coming on. It's coming on. Got it? Cool.
Oh, okay. Wait, is that your first one? No, you went to
Sorry, babe. You're going quick. Waves did well.
Oh, really? That's cute. I thought we were gonna go to
What teams were cooked up today?
Well, yeah, so Bruce, Ryan, Larry, all three of them were at.
Hey, Callie, are we live?
Take care of what you need to take care of. You got 2 minutes.
I mean,
Hey, Word?
Yeah. Hello. Right here.
Sarah?
Right here. Right here.
Can you grab me the battery pack? The mobile one? It's next to Callie. It's next to our stuff over there. And then in the outside pocket of my backpack is my charger.
Tristan, we haven't played a snake piece now. Just went flying and
Word, you can just grab the cord. Yeah. I'm really hoping enough because I plugged in my phone last night and it just didn't work. I'm at 15. Oh, it's fully charged. Thank God. I need a nap.
I can give you that. You need to take over.
1, 2,
Hey, just throw it up, dog.
Get fired up! Get
Throw it
fired
up.
up! Hey! Get fired up! Get fired up! Hey!
I'm good, thank you, though.
Get fired up! Hey! Ah! 1, 2, cheers! How do you spell it? R-E-D! How do you spell it? H-O-T!
Welcome to Game 8 of the Disc Northwest Tier 206 Tour. We are so happy to be bringing you game number 8 of this incredible tour. I can't believe we were here. We are here. We were just with you last night in a different city. We were in, where were we? DC last night, and now we're streaming live to you from Durham, North Carolina. My name is Abby Abramovich.
And I'm Casey Ikeda. I'm incredibly excited for this matchup. The Warhawks are incredibly strong, and Seattle really looking forward to this game, but we want to make sure we give a big shout out to all of our sponsors for making this happen. Thank you, Disc Northwest, promoting growth in the sport of ultimate and instilling the spirit of sportsmanship at all levels, also provided by the Got Your Back Seattle club teams. Aria Disc, precision disc technology for a world of difference. 5 Ultimate, the premier provider of ultimate apparel and gear. Play hard, have fun. Cut Camp, an overnight summer camp for high school age players who want to learn from the best coaches in the world. Go there. Game Point Performance, online training tips and programs for ultimate athletes. Train, recover, repeat. Friction Gloves, consistent grip in all conditions. Spike Ball, join the movement. And Fulcrum Media Group, we exist to share stories that matter. Abby, it's a hot one, but at least in the morning it's a little cooler temperature. What are you expecting to see in this first point from Seattle?
Seattle is coming out today. They're waking up from arriving in Durham at 3 a.m. this morning, hopped on the bus, got a quick warm-up in. We see them playing in their awesome 5 Ultimate hoodies right now to stay out of the sun. I think it's going to take a little while to adjust to this breeze that we're feeling. There's a slight kind of crosswind-ish breeze right now, so we want to see them firing on defense as we see a deep shot right away from this Warhawk team.
Looking to the corner, and a great grab and a goal. You can really see the high power of the cutters and the throwers of this Warhawk offense. Able to strike deep, but also find a great shot deep. Warhawk players sneaking deep right here, grabbing it, and then in this moment when you're in that end zone, finding your receiver, focusing on, throwing to space. Great grab.
Yeah, number 81, Cheris Berry, able to come down with that grab from Harper Bear. A fantastic first point from this Warhawk team. It's got to feel good to start off the first point with just a couple of passes, a hit into the end zone, exactly what you're looking for in these moments, and a strong start for Warhawks.
And I think that was actually Isabel running into the corner. Great grab and also composure to settle in, make eye contact with your thrower. In talking to the Warhawks coach, I really appreciate him just kind of instilling and really giving kind of all the credit to the team about kind of the confidence and trust that they've been building. He's been talking about the way they've been working on their defense is just kind of upping their communication. Whether it's person, even though you're kind of working on your one-on-one matchup, you have to win your matchup. It is still team defense. You still have to communicate. For all you young players out there, it's incredibly important to think about communication on defense. How do you talk? How do you talk not just on the sideline, but when you're on the field, making sure that it's still team defense when we're playing here. So Warhawks with a great pull, floating a little bit. Let's see if it stays in bounds, and it just pops out of bounds. A first chance for Warhawks to come down on defense. It looks like Seattle's in a horizontal. Warhawks kind of going to sag in this open side lane here, really trying to gunk up the middle for the first couple. And you can see them Seattle moving the disc to the sideline, trying to get away from that poach. A really great poach, and then again, a nice D by the offside handler. Warhawks was in a person, but just really sagging on the handlers, and you can see how effective that was. A great throw and go in the end zone. Really interesting end zone where they ISO 4 people in the end zone, and you have a lot of Warhawks players kind of staying out of it, not running past, and just letting their teammates do work.
Yeah, not a traditional end zone set, as here we get another look as Warhawks is able to move the disc from side to side, being nice and patient, looking for an open option in the end zone. We see it here, number 19 at the front of your screen. There are multiple Warhawks players behind the disc, which is something you're not used to defending, right? If you're guarding one of those people who are not really moving behind the disc, not able to not really being a big part of this end zone offense, do you go out and do you poach in the lane? Or do you stay tight with them knowing that if you leave, they might go upfield and take advantage of you peeling off them a little bit? So I'm excited to see how Warhawks continues to use that end zone set in the future of this game.
And it's so much fun just to also see, as on this tour, kind of like all the different styles of play. We've seen multiple ways teams get into end zone, find isolation, and it's been so much fun because there's just different styles of play all over the country. And in getting to stream this, we also get a chance to kind of all consolidate, and we get to learn from each other too. I think Ultimate is also all about learning from each other, where we see, wow, that's a really effective strategy. Let's try this out, or like, wow, Warhawks do it this way, or Seattle loves to play this way, and really get a chance to see all the kind of fun X's and O's on the field.
Yeah, I would love to be on this line right now. We saw Amanda Kostick and Taylor Hartman talking to their Seattle team. Interested to see if they're focused on offense right now. We saw an early turnover from Seattle. As a coach, are you focusing on offense and just keeping the disc right now, or are you talking about how you want to defend that end zone set in the future? Again, there's so many things to be talking about at once that you've just got to decide quickly as you're coaching on the fly.
Absolutely, and I'm thinking it's going to be interesting to see how Seattle responds to this kind of poachy person D on the handler set. I really love, especially early before the half, to poach in this lane. Again, a tough throw that pops up in the wind. Warhawks able to come down with the disc. Warhawks in a horizontal, looking great throw to the middle. Disc near sideline. Great D by Giselle. A fantastic upline cut. Disc was just slightly behind, and Giselle makes a great grab. Again, we see Warhawks with these kind of poachy handler movement. Handler defenders really making and forcing Seattle to go side to side. I want us to pay attention too, because this takes a lot of communication. Warhawks are consistently talking right now, doing a great job not only support from their sideline, but talking to their players, just letting them know, I'm in the lane right here. This is the spot I'm taking away as a thrower. Really kind of intimidating when you hear that much communication on the field and also from the sideline.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. It looks like downfield Warhawks are going pretty person. So we're seeing a little bit of zone in the front and person in the back. That's very difficult to get open downfield. I would love to see maybe 4 handlers come back for Voyagers as we see them working the disc now. And a big deep shot going up to Laura Holtzman.
And a great grab by Holtzman and a huge bomb by Nori.
Absolutely. We saw Seattle taking the time to swing the disc from side to side. Again, mostly working against this zone in the front. Nori using those pump fakes to move the mark, and then we see this big backhand shot out into space. Laura Holtzman doing a fantastic job of reading the disc, staying in front of it. A great defensive effort from number 88 on Warhawks. Leanna doing everything she can to get there, but just overall a fantastic shot from Seattle.
And what's really interesting is that kind of zone in the front, zone in the front and then matching up in the backfield on cutters is really difficult to get open, and I really like that suggestion of like overweighting, bringing back another handler. You can see it's much harder to get the disc moving when it's in the handler set, but as soon as the disc moves to the cutter set, that zone gets wonky. You're trying to figure out who matches up. Nori doing a great job of throwing that big pump fake, forcing the mark to move, and then opening up her backhand to turn and rip across field to the center of the field. It's a really beautiful throw, and kind of those little details really set up the kind of position and throw of that pump fake.
Yeah, and another option, we talked about 4 handlers coming back, but also as a handler, when you recognize it's person, downfield, and zone in front, sometimes streaking deep, because those people aren't necessarily going to, those defenders downfield aren't necessarily going to be heads up enough to peel off a handler streaking deep. They're already focusing on their matchup and staying tight. Excited to see now what Seattle is going to throw on this defensive point.
Warhawks coming down in a horizontal. Seattle matched up, looking like a straight up mark. Great effort on the mark. Just moving to the near sideline. Great dishes. You can see Warhawk doing a great job. Big huck coming. And way to run it down. A beautiful dish to a huck, floating out to space. Isabel running it down again. You see this great dish to space again by Sil, and then a big windup and rip by Alyssa. I'm sorry, that was Charis Barry running it down. And just kind of into space, flat, letting her receiver run it down. It's a really difficult throw. As coaches, we always talk about kind of like hucking from the different third, but Alyssa has great touch, great throw. Was able to throw it high enough for a receiver to run it down and see, and was not afraid of that kind of down the line shot, a really high level throw. I've been noticing Warhawks do a great job of kind of doing these kind of dishy cuts, or like some people call them bumps, where a throw goes upfield to a cutter and a handler is rushing up to get kind of a quick dish to help out. It kind of mimics an upline cut to create kind of a fast break or power position for the thrower.
Yeah, I love that movement that we saw from that Warhawks team. Seattle now down 3-1. They need a clean offensive hold right here to be able to boost some confidence.
Sorry, at this moment, I really want to just also shout out 5 Ultimate. 5 Ultimate is the premier provider of ultimate apparel and gear. As the official partner of Team USA, 5 is committed to producing uniforms of the highest quality. For Ultimate players, by Ultimate players, play hard, have fun, 5 Ultimate. There you can see 5 Ultimate providing these wonderful jerseys for the 206 tour, and just been a wonderful reversible and just apparel company. It's just been so much fun and really appreciative of all that 5 has done for this tour.
We're seeing the center and catch from Seattle. Looks like they're in this horizontal stack downfield with the Warhawks mainly covering in person as we watch the last few defenders pick up their matchup. A nice inside shot from Seattle, moving the disc really well. You notice that they're not holding onto the disc longer than 3-4 seconds, doing an excellent job as we see a big backhand huck go up from Laura Holtzman and a fantastic grab in the back side of the end zone for the Seattle team. You can see their sideline getting fired up. This is a small Seattle squad, as we've talked about. We're going to see this movement from Seattle. Laura Holtzman doing a great job reeling in that disc and immediately throwing, using that momentum that she has. She's got 2 receivers in the end zone, both of them doing a fantastic job reading the disc, able to pick that disc out of the air. Number 16, Alex Demony, we've seen her do some great work for the Seattle team, and there she gets some glory with a nice grab in the end zone.
Yeah, and again, both points, it's thinking about how you're getting your throwers into power position. Holtzman as a cutter, but still has fantastic throws, was getting that momentum that we saw, able to kind of turn and throw in rhythm. It is so important, the difference between throwing from a standstill or running backwards when you're kind of using your momentum to throw into a throw. It just kind of, as a thrower, it just gives you a little more rhythm, gives you a little more balance, but also is pretty tough to make sure that your feet are underneath you. Really impressed by both teams' kind of footwork ability to be able to throw on the move, to rip big backhands from power position, but also from like a big explosive move.
And a great point for that Seattle team. We saw them have a couple early turnovers in the first few points of this game, but they're able to move the disc from side to side and still take a nice deep shot, remaining calm, cool, and collected with the disc. A great point for Seattle. Now we're going to get another look at this Warhawks offense. Excited to see if they're going to set up in their horizontal that we've seen, and then as they work the disc closer to the end zone, are we going to see that kind of untraditional end zone set in their red zone?
Yeah, really going to be interesting to kind of watch this whole game and the different end zone sets what Warhawks gets into. I talked to their coach. He's been coaching the Warhawks for 4 years, for 4 seasons, just kind of picking his brain about his strategy and things like that. And he has some advice for these younger coaches that I thought was really valuable about thinking about kind of creating a positive experience. All you new coaches, I know we're talking about X's and O's on the stream, but it's also about creating a really positive experience and making sure that this season, no matter what happens, is a memorable one. And it's really awesome to see these top-end coaches stressing, like, yes, Ultimate's important, but also creating a positive experience and characters is so important. As you see the Warhawks moving this quickly side to side as Seattle is in their 3-person cup.
Warhawks doing a nice job of moving the disc. Now they're working the disc down that far sideline. Again, the wind is kind of this crosswind, so Warhawks are on the upwind side of the field. It's slightly downwind for them right now, but they're doing an excellent job of using the entire width of the field. We see them in their end zone. It's not what we saw now, what we saw on the previous point, but they're able to not quite sneak in a goal, knocking on the doorstep right now. We see Warhawks with the disc in their hand, looking for this dump. Do they get a swing around? It's not quite there. Able to use their pump fakes, moving the mark from side to side. Again, working their way up, and there we see it. The Warhawks able to work their way into the end zone, taking as many throws as it takes, not looking rushed, staying nice and calm and chilly outside their end zone.
And I really love right now the handler movement of the Warhawks as you see Alyssa throw and go. Still throw and go right there. In end zone, just kind of that throw open, go open is such a powerful, dangerous move. Right now you have the mark usually on 1/4 sideline. And when you throw open, you have that one step kind of advantage. And when you sprint to that open side, sprint to that cone, that one step is all you really need, and still doing an amazing job of throwing open, going open, and winning that cone.
And I believe there was a timeout taken by Seattle, so we're going to use this break to take a look at one of our sponsors. Welcome back to this game. We've seen a fantastic job by the Warhawks offense. I am super impressed by their ability to play fantastic offense and then able to apply a lot of pressure to the Seattle team on defense. So far we've seen some great work from number 8, Clill Phillips on this team. I think that we are going to see some great teamwork between her and number 18, Alyssa. They were U20 teams on the last World Junior cycle and so far have been putting in a lot of work for this Warhawks team.
Absolutely, and kind of that U20 experience, getting to play against different countries, but then to learn different styles, and then to come back to your team and kind of share that experience really just grows the sport of ultimate. You want to have all your teammates on that U20 team, but it's so valuable when you have a few teammates and also kind of those leaders of your team to come back and also say, this is what I learned. Similar to this tour where you get to kind of get to experience all these different styles, see these fantastic athletes on the field, and then come back to your own school team and say, hey, this is something that I learned or this is something I saw on the tour.
Yeah, and especially important, it looks like this Warhawks team has 10 first-year players. So that experience that these two Worlds players and all their other returners are bringing in is huge, especially for a team that has 10 first-year players. That's incredible. They have an average age of 17. Interesting to note that we also asked them about what type of what type of Hogwarts houses they would be in. It looks like the majority of this team are Ravenclaw, so excited to see how Ravenclaw comes out in this Warhawks team.
Shout out to Ravenclaw as another fellow Ravenclaw. I love to see so many Ravenclaws on the Warhawks team. But I think I love thinking about the new players on this team, and the Warhawks has been such a force in how North Carolina has really built that and making sure that there's a welcoming environment. Talking to their coaches is saying, like, yes, winning and like competing is very important and we want to do that, but it's also about instilling character, trust, and confidence. The Warhawks has been playing adults, college teams, and they really talked about how building confidence and trust within each other has made those moments, like against when you're playing against older people, much more kind of solidifying for the team. It was really exciting to hear how they talked about that. Great bid. Holtzman with the disc in the middle. Pick was called. An errant throw. Pick was called. This is kind of a weird rule where it looks like there was a pick called and then the throw went up. That didn't affect the pick, and it is going to be a turnover.
Yeah, we saw that defensive bid from Emma Williamson. Warhawks continuing to put a lot of pressure. An unfortunate turnover right there for their offense, but I'm excited to see this defensive pressure they've been applying all game.
Great up the line shot. Power position for Laura. Laura rips a great shot. Nori running onto it. And a great grab Again, we are seeing these kind of power positions from the thrower leading to big, beautiful hucks.
And I think we're going to continue to see that if the Warhawks is kind of playing this zone in the front. There we get another great at that huge backhand rip from Laura Toe. It's out to space for Nori to run onto. We see the Warhawks player is in the picture right now, chasing it down, but Nori just doing a fantastic job of running onto that disc. A well-thrown deep shot from Seattle. I think we might continue to see these quick movements to a deep shot, especially if Warhawks continues to play this three-person cup in the front and then person matchup in the back. Once you break through once, you might want to look for a deep option right away, because Warhawks have been doing a great job of kind of slowing down these medium underpasses.
Yeah. And going back to that throw, I mean, we talk about that footwork, we talk about that power position. Just kind of the height of that throw is also so impressive. So often you get in that power position and you rip like a laser, maybe 5 feet up the ground. That defense can kind of like cut off and get that D. That throw was at maybe 10 to 11 feet. That kind of like Nori could see it, run onto it, and as it drops in, defense could not have a chance, even though they were sprinting and right there. They just needed it to hang up a little high, and Laura put it right there on that shelf for Nori to run down.
We've seen a couple, I guess there was a turnover this last point. Warhawks doing a great job applying pressure, but so far a lot of holds so far. We're looking for a team, I believe Warhawks started with a break, but we're looking for another team. This is the time, right? Your legs are underneath you. You've gotten used to the field. You've gotten used to the heat out here, maybe. But the legs are running underneath you, and now's the time of, okay, let's go out there, let's get a break, and let's push our opponents the most that we can right now.
Again, we're getting into this kind of mid-game, and both teams like throwing lots of different looks and zones and offenses, and it's been really exciting for also all these holds. Again, Seattle coming down in their three-person cup. Warhawks doing a great job of moving the disc quickly through the middle, taking a shot to the corner, off the fingertips, a little bit of a collision. Great aggressive shot, though. It looks like they're discussing a call.
I believe Warhawks number 81, Isabella, we can see her going for the disc right now. Natalia giving chase to the disc. We see a little bit of contact. Difficult to tell what happens first. Always hard to say in a situation like this. We were watching the players discuss it at this moment. It appears so far that the disc is going to stay with Isabella. She will take it from the front of the end zone. So this is a big time situation for this Warhawks team. Are they able to run a nice end zone offense right here?
And this is an interesting opportunity where last time the Warhawks went 4 people in the end zone and they ISO'd, or they just kind of, their handlers stayed out of the play. This time you can see their handlers going back into that vert stack and making a great up line cut for the goal. Warhawks doing a great job of showing different looks and also using that kind of race to the cone to get up through making an easy open side cut. Great grab.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about Alyssa bringing this U20 experience. We see her hit number 19, Lonnie O'Neill, in the end zone. Fantastic work for this Warhawks team.
So 5-3, Warhawks up. It's going to be interesting to see what Warhawks throws on defense. I've been really liking their person off defense. I know they've kind of thrown some zones in the front or kind of sags in the front, but right now I'm kind of looking to kind of see how their marks and kind of their upline defense prevent Seattle from getting into the power position. Seattle's been doing a great job with their hucks, but a lot of that huck position has been coming from multiple like power positions from either a handler or like a break throw to a huck. I think it's always interesting when you say, hey, we want to prevent the huck, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to be closer to the handlers. We're going to stop the up lines. It's almost counterintuitive, but right now, seeing this game, the hucks are really coming from power position, not too many standstill hucks. And I think if Warhawks kind of slow down Seattle's handler movement and break throws, we're going to see the huck game really kind of slow down for Seattle.
And it looks like this is a power D line out for Warhawks. Again, if they're able to get this break and take the lead 6-3, that's huge momentum. Potentially able to get another couple holds afterwards, taking them into an early halftime. And again, we've talked about it so much this tour, but it is a hot, hot day out here. I know you can see the tent flapping in the wind a little bit back there, so there is a breeze cooling you down, but we're on this hot turf. And shout out once again to Fulcrum Media being able to stream this game to you. Hot temperature and all this equipment, being able to live stream a game to you on Facebook so you can watch it from the comfort of your bed in the morning. Fulcrum Media doing a fantastic job.
Seattle in a side stack, you see Warhawks coming down in that kind of zone. This looks like a zone both ways. This kind of flat three-person. It's not really cup, but kind of like a transition. We'll see if they transition to a person after a couple throws. Betsy throwing over the top. Just popped up right over the head of Alex. Warhawks looking to move quickly. Betsy with a run through again, trying to get this moving. Laura floating out to space, running it down on the end zone line. Seattle looking to capitalize. Big shot, curving. Alex grabbing the disc, two hands.
Here we see Laura able to track this disc down from Betsy. A fantastic throw out into space. Laura calling for her teammates to cut. You love that initiative from a thrower on the goal line, looking to score, but also taking the time to dump it back to Laura Holtzman. Lauren doing a fantastic job using that outside and forehand to find Alex in the end zone. A great defensive effort from Lonnie O'Neill. We've seen her do work for that Warhawks team. And Warhawks was able to get a D on that point. Betsy from Seattle doing a fantastic job getting that run through D, able to get Seattle back into this game, back into that point, and able to convert after a little bit of like a tricky offensive point. You're seeing a new zone come down. They get a turnover, you get it back, and then you're able to hold. So good composure from the Seattle team.
And it's so beautiful to see this kind of like run through D by Betsy. Betsy working incredibly hard and is a fantastic thrower. So when you get that run through D, not only to catch it, but then you're in that kind of power position where it feels like a fast break and you have one of your best throwers on Seattle with the disc. That throw to space to Laura too, where it floats out to space and she got to run down, that gained an extra 15 to 20 yards just throwing that to space. A lot of times throwers will throw that right to the chest. Betsy does a wonderful job of throwing to the cone and leading her receiver.
Absolutely, and we see the Seattle pole. The wind is picking up. It's kind of gusty out there today. Warhawks doing a nice job of centering the disc and moving it up the middle. We could hear Seattle on the sideline counting out the number of passes. So it appears that there's a defensive transition. We can see them now. A great transition into person defense. Lots of talk from the Seattle sideline. Warhawks, though, still able to move the disc. We see a quick give-and-go movement and a fantastic grab using the break side of this field. And here, a shot into the end zone and able to get it at the front. Warhawks doing a fantastic job right there. It looks like that was Jen Wang to Isabella. Doing a lot of work for this Warhawks team. The Warhawks proving that they can go 40 yards wide, come back, and able to find Isabella in the end zone right here for a nice, easy clap catch.
Yeah, really great job by the Warhawks of being on the sideline, using their throws and discipline to work it back to the middle and attack from the middle. Warhawks showing great discipline and also the speed that they're playing in. Right now, we're going to take it to half. We're going to take a short break from sponsors. North Carolina up 6-4 on Seattle. Make sure you stay tuned after this quick break.
way better. Let's go, take down the champ.
An Ultiworld subscription gets you closer to the players and personalities you care about with game video, in-depth written and video analysis,
He's going to take off deep, but what he does is very simple.
documentary shorts,
And we've played Fruit Squad before, and it just feels a little bit harder to lose this year.
and a whole lot more. To get your subscription or learn more, go to ultiworld.com/subscribe.
I promise that I will love you forever and always.
Jinx, and he's in.
Welcome back to halftime of Game 8 on the Disc Northwest Tier 206 Tour. Thank you so much to our sponsors. We have a special shout out to Cut Camp. Cut Camp is an overnight summer camp for high school age players looking to develop their ultimate skills in a fun and competitive setting. Cut is the perfect place to find lifelong friends from across the country and improve your ultimate skills together. Come learn from the best players and coaches in the game. If you love Ultimate, you can find out more at competitiveultimatetraining.com. Cut Camp, go there. And at this time, we're going to take a closer look into Cut Camp.
My name is Arnush Javaharian, otherwise known as Java, and I am the founder and executive director of Cut Camp.
My name is Jaden. I'm from Toronto, and I'm 18 years old. I came to Cut Camp because it's a great opportunity to get better at the sport I love the most, which is Ultimate Frisbee.
You can't find anything as unique as what you have at Cut Camp. It's an experience, honestly, you won't get anywhere else. With the coaches and the people that come here, everyone wants to be here. It's just an environment that is just so amazing to be around.
I think what made me want to become a coach most was probably Java's enthusiasm. I also really wanted the opportunity to hang out with some of the most knowledgeable players in the country.
We bring in coaches from all over the nation, and I'm talking about the best players, top-notch players that are playing the game at the highest levels, such as Goose and Jesse Schaffner and Claire Chastain, Opie Payne, Khalif El Salam. I could go on and on down the list of these amazing coaches that have given up their time to come here and to really give back to the youth Ultimate world and to help grow it and make it amazing.
I came to Cut Camp because I am very passionate about Frisbee. I want to do it for a very long time, and the people that I know who have gone through the program said it was really good, and I thought that it would be a great opportunity for me to learn from these pro athletes that I've been looking up to for so long, and to just take advantage of the opportunity and just, I don't know, learn.
My name is Chrissy Lind Hunter. I'm Filipino-British, but I grew up in Hong Kong. I played for the GB mixed team, but I now currently live in Malaysia. Over the last few years, I've been playing with GB mixed. I now play for Black Widows. We're going to the US Open for the first time. We are first multi-Asian country women's team to go to the US Open. I actually enjoy that the coaches get a chance to see what the kids want to do and see what their strengths are, as well as what the coaches have skills they can bring, and make an experience for these kids that's really personal and tailored to them.
Well, Cut Camp is growing at an immense rate. Just 4 years ago, we only had Chicago. Now we are in North Carolina, Portland, Oregon, Portland, Maine, and Toronto, Ontario.
Welcome back to halftime of this incredible game on the Disc Northwest Tier 206 Tour. We are so happy to be streaming this game to you for all the fans out there. Thank you for tuning in. Again, my name is Abby Abramovich, and right now I am joined with Jay Way, who is the current U17 coach for this Warhawks program, and also my former U24 teammate. So happy to have Jay Way in the booth with us today.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Jayway, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with this U17 and U20 program?
Yeah, so this program has been around for quite a long time. A lot of these girls have started playing, well before they entered high school. I've been really, really fortunate to be a part of that program. I've coached a lot of them in the high school teams as well as on Kitty Hawks, which is the U17 team out of this triangle. It's been inspiring to watch them grow. They really, really work so hard every day at practice, outside of practice. You can tell that they love Ultimate and they just always want to be out on the field playing with their friends.
Awesome. That's incredible to hear about this program. And it sounds like they have a lot of players who have played on the U17 team before, correct?
Yeah, our program is a really great funnel. They develop from very young. At least half of this roster probably played on the U17 team, probably over that have been playing on their high school teams. So there are a lot of opportunities in the triangle, which has really helped the youth development in this area.
Awesome. And watching this game today, knowing so many of the players, how do you think they've been playing so far today?
I honestly am so impressed by them. There are a few of them that I haven't seen play in a while, or that I remember when they were just, first years in high school, and now they're out here throwing break throws or catching things in the air or laying out, and it's amazing to see their development over the years. I think we have a great coaching squad throughout the triangle. There are lots of experienced players here who, clearly have laid down their wisdom for them.
Absolutely. As we watch the Warhawks lay down that wisdom right there for another goal. Fantastic work. We saw a huge grab earlier from Klill. Who are some of the players that have been impressing you today?
One player that's always impressed me, and specifically today, is Bella Russell. She is the youngest player on this team. She's only 14 years old. She actually still has U17 eligibility, so it was really, really tough to let her go from our program this year. But you can see she is playing great on their D-line. Her pulls are further than probably my pulls, and she has just amazing awareness on the field as well as her amazing throws. So I've been really impressed with how she's played.
Awesome. That's incredible to hear. Warhawks doing a great job in the second half. We see that they're up 7-4 on the Seattle team. Again, it's a quick reminder that the game is to 11 today. It has been hot on the East Coast, so we shortened the game a little bit to give these girls an opportunity to give it their all without putting them in danger. We want to make sure that safety is the #1 option here. Jayway, thank you so much for joining us here at halftime. We've appreciated your input, and thank you so much for contributing to this community as a coach as well.
Yeah, it's been a really great time. Thanks for having me.
All right, and we have another offensive point for Seattle coming up. They're down 4-7 right now. It's hard to come out when you know the game is only to 11. This is a time where the game is gonna start ramping up quicker than usual. Typically, you have a couple points to get into the swing of things after halftime, but with a game to 11, things are gonna come up quicker. So Seattle really needing an offensive hold at this time to be able to get some more points on the board, hopefully able to get some breaks coming up soon.
And you know what's really exciting to see, unlike both halftimes, is just the joy both teams are having with each other. I know there's so much exciting play on the field, but there's something really special happening, like on the sidelines during halftime. Warhawks bringing over some watermelon for Seattle and just hanging out time. Warhawks going and dancing during halftime, music was going. It's just this community itself, like competing and fighting on the field with so much passion, and then also off the field getting to connect and make new friends and to kind of just eat watermelon and goof off. It's just so much fun to be a part of this community and see Warhawks and both coaches from Seattle and Warhawks kind of creating that community and trust.
Absolutely. We're watching Seattle do a great job moving the disc from side to side, hopefully looking to gain some yards, though. They've kind of been stuck in the same spot. You see the Warhawks players flashing into the lanes, making those upfield throws difficult right there. We see a wonderful D from the Warhawks player. Now Seattle's got to transition quickly. That D coming from Maya Donald. Fantastic work from her on defense and this entire Warhawks team as they look for a break opportunity. A huge bid, but unable to come up with it from the Warhawks player. A fantastic shot into the end zone from Bella Russell. Again, she's that 14-year-old that Jayway was talking about. So incredible to see these huge efforts on the field, especially from a 14-year-old playing with the U20 team.
And as you can feel, the wind is picking up, really kind of turning into this upwind, downwind game and making those kind of floaty upline cuts or throws much harder. As you can see, Warhawks taking advantage of that last time. Now Seattle on their goal line, really difficult position trying to go 70 yards. Warhawks hoping to get a D right here to shorten the field and try to get another break to kind of start this half off again. Seattle moving kind of side to side, but really not getting too much of the field. Giselle, great cut, but unfortunately popped up off the hands. Warhawks in a great position looking to strike. Inside break, beautiful inside break throw. Tough in this wind. Oh, and just off the hands, off a dump.
The wind is picking up, as Casey was saying. We just had a couple of tents fly off the sideline. That's a classic moment in the sport of ultimate. People always think the tents are going to stay up and they go flying in the wind, but it shows how windy it is today, and the Warhawks D doing a great job of applying pressure. These swing throws are difficult in this wind. Let's see if Seattle is able to reel in this one. An excellent grab. Trying to move the disc downfield. Oh, wow.
Great grab. Floating to save that possession. And Warhawks doing an excellent job, though, in this win for their defensive game plan, making Seattle go side to side, force these difficult looks, not getting a lot upfield, and Seattle having patience, also confident into their throw. The shot goes up. Warhawks right underneath and get a D, but a great kind of movement from Seattle to kind of get the disc up the field, and now Warhawks needing to go 70 yards. And now a quick turn. Seattle on the doorstep looking to take advantage of this transition, and they do. Laura doing a great job finding Leona in the end zone with the spike. And a subtle thing to see is Laura gets really low, so this throw pops up a little bit, and Seattle immediately going underneath. Oh, fantastic effort. And going quick, Dion with the grab, finding Laura, and then watch Laura just get low. It's a backhand and a lot of times unmarked, but getting low to throw in this wind with a great snap is fantastic fundamentals and something that really goes unnoticed a lot of times. A lot of times when you don't have a mark, it's really easy to stay without your legs and just kind of throw from your wrist in this wind, using your legs, using your core to really snap that disc to make sure it hits your target right in the chest.
Absolutely, and Seattle benefiting. I know that deep shot, they weren't able to come down with it, but then able to get a short field turnover, and as you mentioned, Casey, able to convert right away as Warhawks is scrambling to get into defense. So I don't know if it was a positioning battle, but able to convert after that short field turnover from Warhawks. And now we see the score 5-7. Seattle really looking for a couple of break opportunities right here. And on the other side, Warhawks wanting to get a clean offensive hold in this wind, would be able to establish themselves really well in this game. If they're able to get a hold, taking an 8-5 lead is a big difference and would be a huge momentum for them.
And it's really interesting to just see how the wind kind of changes the game. All of a sudden, the wind picking up just a little bit. All of a sudden, different hucks aren't there or different inside breaks aren't there. And everything kind of just shifts just a little bit. So as we see the game, kind of coaches change X's and O's from the mid-game to the late game. The wind as this other kind of texture to the sport of saying, okay, from 0.5 to 10, we also have gusty wind, and then sometimes the wind will just stop then and then change the game, and who makes the adjustment quicker is really an advantage. Again, just an off the fingertip throw.
And we saw Gabby Peyoyo actually hit the ground from that cup. I'm not sure if she was able to get a finger on it, but able to apply that pressure, making that catch more difficult for the Warhawks player.
Warhawks putting in a great mark. You see the footwork and effort to just kind of make all throws difficult. Great job by Sil, using her legs and her kind of active hands to really make those throws difficult. Seattle in kind of the red zone, looking to kind of move the disc, looking for another break. Gabby going throw and go. High throw, floats over the top. And again, this is kind of the win factor where those throws have consistently worked. And now in this subtle adjustment, they're popping up. Things are coming off a little jumpy.
I do appreciate that Gabby took the time to check her shoulder in this situation. She could feel the presence of the 3 Warhawks defenders in that area, taking a time to check her shoulder and then stop her cut. She knew that she wasn't going to get there, and she stopped a collision from happening. You love to see that awareness on the field.
Big shot up. Warhawks underneath it, but great D by Alex, and a second effort chance off the fingertips. And you can see Seattle kind of taking their time right now, kind of making sure that they're set up, getting a chance to take a breath. In these kind of longer points with multiple turnovers, sometimes you get caught thinking, we got to go, we have to go, we have to go. And taking that kind of quick break to reset, catch your breath, and make sure that you can kind of throw in this wind. This wind isn't too difficult. It's just enough where you have to think about it, but not change too much about the way you play.
Absolutely. And Seattle doing a good job of working the disc up. Here we see them dump it to the side, and then able to look either for a give and go. It's not quite there. Use your pump fake, hit your friend on the sideline, and now we see a deep shot into the end zone for Seattle, and that's a break. This is a huge point for Seattle as we see a wonderful celebration there from Alex. I believe that's her 3rd game of the goal so far for Seattle. Here we'll get another look at this deep shot. Betsy Siegel, she's been a rock for the Seattle offense, taking a deep shot upwind. Alex, despite the pressure from number 91 on Warhawks, Reese Berry doing a fantastic job. But again, we've seen some great deep throws in this game so far. Casey able to lead the offender out into space so that they're able to come down with it. No chance that the D is able to make a play.
And again, Betsy kind of getting in that power position to able to have her feet under her, moving with momentum deep, being able to rip that into space. And again, both sides, the defenders are always right on the hip, and the throws are out to space, kind of in stride, never giving the defense a chance. If that throw pops up just a little bit, you'll see probably 2 Warhawks players in screen, swooping in, trying to get that deep, but it's out to space, and Warhawks have done the same thing, hitting their deep cuts in stride, which is such a hard thing to do, especially in this swirly wind, and also these really fast-paced cutters and defenders. I mean, hitting someone in stride is when both teams are so fast, the windows are so small, and I've just been blown away by these deep throws.
Absolutely, and now I think we're going to get to see a little bit of the battle between the coaches. Now we're going to see the strategy come out. We've talked about this Seattle coaching squad, Taylor Hartman and Amanda Kostick, bringing in a lot of knowledge to this game. The Warhawks coaches also providing a lot of knowledge. Mike, Elizabeth, Becky. They also have Rebecca Fagan, who had a lot of success in the college scene this year, a fantastic Callahan video. But both teams bringing in a lot of knowledge, and now we're going to see how those coaches apply that knowledge through their strategy and through their players on the field.
And not only strategy, I think just these coaching staff, talking to both of them, of just making sure that it's character too. And having a talented teammate is great, but having a talented friend and a best friend is so wonderful to show up to those track workouts, those extra pods. And you can really tell both these teams are just really friends. And more than anything, that's been really exciting to see on both sides, from the boys and the girls, of building what it takes to build a team. These coaching staffs have done an amazing job on both sides.
Yeah, and we saw the disc trail out of bounds for the Warhawks. Again, it's a bit of a crosswind, a bit of a downwind, so Seattle stuck on the downwind side, but now they're swinging it to the upwind side of the field, and now a big, deep shot going downfield. Both teams in chase, and number 19, Alyssa Earnhardt, doing a fantastic job going up early. Excuse me, that was Lonnie O'Neill doing a fantastic job going up early and getting that D for her team.
And you get Laura hucking from power position. Warhawks makes a great D play, but a fantastic huck in this win too, to get Seattle an opportunity for a short field turn. Big float, Giselle underneath. Seattle working around half field, looking to score. Again, taking kind of a breath, getting your offense to set. Warhawks looking to poach a little bit. An unfortunate turn. Warhawks going again, attacking deep. Has people open underneath. There seems to be a little bit of a miscommunication on Seattle. Slow to get a mark. Big rip. And a great D. Holtzman coming down with that tip and trying to go quick. There's a little bit of a miscommunication. I love how the Warhawks are flashing the lane too, though, right now. With their handler defenders, they're kind of spine cutters, and when there's an opportunity flashing that lane, you can see 27 checking her shoulder too to make sure that that break throw doesn't get off. Those little looks, those little communications, just to gain more information as a defense is so important. Oh, and another throw, sailing over the head. Warhawks taking a breath, taking a timeout. I love this timeout right now. You get your legs underneath you. You get to talk about it. This is a hot day. The turf is hot. And just to say, okay, let's take a breath and let's really make sure we cherish the disc and put this one in.
Yeah, and during this timeout, I think we're going to take a chance to thank our sponsors once again. So stay tuned right after this quick break. Welcome back. Again, we are in a timeout. Warhawks taking a timeout as they have the disc on their half of the field, looking to score to take this lead to 8-6. As you can see on the field, the players are wearing their hoodies, wearing their bucket hats, trying to stay out of the sun. It is a hot day. These players doing whatever they can to stay cool. Again, the Seattle team only having 13 players, I believe, so doing whatever they can on this tour to play their hardest this last game. It is a game 2-11 due to this heat, and just a reminder that we are streaming to you live in this hot heat on the turf, trying to bring this game to you, so any technical difficulties that are popping up, we are doing our best. We are holding down. We have all these wonderful volunteers from the Warhawks team literally standing on the side of all of our shade tents, holding them down in the breeze and keeping our Fulcrum crew somewhat cool, or at least out of the sun at this moment.
So you can see Warhawks setting up in a horizontal. Let's see, traditionally Cossack has thrown a little funky zone or a different look in this moment. Let's see if they do anything to kind of mess up a pull play or take a gamble here. It looks like Seattle walking out in just a person D forehand, forcing the home side and looking to kind of just dig in and find this D. Great upline cut, beautiful throw right there. Again, great fast movement from the handler set. Disc moving back to the center. Warhawks doing a great job of quick movement. On the goal line, looking for the shot. Great layout. Fantastic end zone offense. Isabel going to the cone. As you can see, we're going to call this the 5 ultimate play of the game. Throw to the corner, and here we have, right on the goal line, a really scary moment. Big pump fake, move back to the center. You can see the Warhawks moving the disc, and just the throw, floating, and big time bid by Alyssa. Great job. 5 ultimate play of the game. Isabel, I apologize, Isabel.
Yeah, we've seen Isabella making some fantastic plays, and there we see her again in the 5 ultimate play of the game. Doing a fantastic job reeling in that disc for the score, and this is huge for the Warhawks team to be able to convert off of a timeout, able to reel in with some momentum off of a big play like that, going up 8-6, only 6 minutes left until hard cap. This is a big moment for this Warhawks team, and we've seen them to continue to push themselves to get better and better throughout this game. They've done fantastic on offense and on defense, and now they have another opportunity to break coming out on defense right now.
And again, I love this timeout by the Warhawks when they just kind of took a time to kind of settle in. About half field to go. You could see the movement and the pace that they played was different than all the other points, especially when you get tired and you kind of drag multiple turnovers. There's a tendency as players to just be like, it's too hot, get me off this field, I'm hucking. That timeout, get them some water, get some rest to kind of like settle in, and you can see that quick movement, that patient offense, and then that big layout by Isabella in the goal line. But really great end zone offense by the Warhawks.
We see the pull come up, and this is a big moment for the Seattle offense. To stay in this game, they really need to score on this point.
You can see Warhawks coming in this kind of saggy zone again, looking to kind of make the throws to the middle and hucks difficult. Seattle moving this side to side, but also having difficulty finding shots through the middle. Power position, big shot deep, going to the corner. Great grab, not in yet. Looking, Mia, great grab through the middle. Again, Shanti getting power position, taking a great rip to Alex. Alex showing patience and calm and finding Mia in the end zone for the goal.
That's a big time grab as we get another look for this forehand rip from Shanti. Down this third of the field, Alex doing a great job tracking, going up with 2 hands despite the pressure from the Warhawks player. And then Alex able to find Mia in the end zone. A fantastic job by Mia following the play. She's trusting that Alex is going to come down with that disc, and she's continuing a cut so Alex is able to turn upfield and immediately hit her teammates into the end zone instead of that moment where you're outside waiting for all 6 of your teammates to catch up. They are able to avoid that moment and get a quick score, which is exactly what the Seattle team needs right now.
And it's really interesting when we've seen multiple throws from power position, but also the Warhawks or Seattle defenders like being right there. These throws are just out to space, just in a place where their cutter can catch it, and it's so difficult. Every huck we've seen the defender right there working so hard, and really that effort to kind of close that gap is so important as a defender.
Absolutely, and at this time we want to give a quick shout out to Aria. Aria is a sponsor of the Disc Northwest Tier 206 Tour, precision crafted with high level play in mind, supporting growth and accessibility with every disc sold. Aria believes in changing the world through Ultimate. For more information, please visit us at aria-disc.com. Thank you for supporting the Disc Northwest Tier 206 Tour and Aria Disc. Once again, we said it all tour long, but this tour would not be possible without the help from all of our sponsors.
And it looks like Warhawks in a horizontal, Seattle person with a little bit of a straight up mark. And you know, it gets not talked about a lot, but these marks that we've seen all tour and this game are so impressive. You see those active hands and just moving those feet to really try to prevent all throws and make all throws just a little more difficult. Yes, hand blocks are wonderful, but just making a thrower pivot out wide, as we see, just kind of makes that throw so much more difficult. That throw without that mark is usually just a flat throw, easy pivot, but you saw having to really stretch out wide, throw high, and just that wind picking up just enough to pop over. Those are the inches that you're really looking for. That's the effort that you're really kind of stressing as a coach on the mark and why you put so much effort. Great bid. Holtzman again in the middle with a rip. Two defenders there, but Seattle coming down, going quickly, and just a miscue. Oh, great.
An unfortunate error. We've talked about how difficult it is to throw to players running away from you in the end zone. There we see the shot go up, but it's not quite possible for Seattle to reel in. They've got to grind right now on defense. This is the break that they need to stay in this game.
And Warhawks moving this quickly down the sideline. Again, a tricky place when you're trapped on this open sideline. Again, great mark, great grab. Oh, unfortunately popped out. A tough break again. Warhawks hitting the ground, and you can see the Seattle players saying, breathe, 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 let's take a timeout. And this is another moment where you're just kind of like, let's settle in, let's make sure we get this point. You know, multiple turns, it's tough, the energy is high, you can tell the intensity is there, but let's just take a timeout, grab some water, get our legs back into us, and just remember that we can be patient and aggressive at the same time.
Absolutely. I love this timeout call. I think that this is possibly the most important possession for Seattle. If they're able to tie this game up at 8, force a universe point, it would be really exciting. Seattle has had so many close games on this tour so far. They're working so hard, grinding out there with 13 players. And this Warhawks team showing what they can do, right? So exciting to have a team travel across the country to come play you, and Warhawks is putting on a show. They're grinding on offense and defense. I'm so excited to see what these teams put out there coming out of this this timeout.
Yeah, and you know, the physical toll that this tour is taking on, and you can see the athletes working so hard, but also to be in so many close games takes kind of an emotional toll too. I've just been really just blown away by the resilience and kind of composure that the Seattle team has shown to be in so many close games, to be traveling, all the different logistics, and to show composure, and to make sure that in those moments that they really focus on themselves. Really blown away by the coaches and the young athletes to say, okay, there's so many things going outside, but they really look kind of to their team, to their huddle for that support and care. Especially in these tight games, you can really tell that the team gets much closer in these moments.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to see if Seattle decides to set up almost a pole play. They're basically at the brick of this field, able to set up exactly where they want to be. It looks like they're starting to get out into a horizontal stack. They've got a dump set up behind the disc at 45 degrees. A lot of spacing on this field, and now Warhawks is able to take a second, look around, and say, okay, I see what you're doing. This is how we're going to adjust, and this is what we're going to do. Looks like they've got some poaches in the lane for Warhawks defense.
Violation called. It seemed like the defense was not set before the disc was tapped in. This gives us another chance to just talk about, I think it is person, but there's going to be a couple of brackets and poaches. You can tell that Warhawks have helped deep to really try to prevent that last back, and the last back saying, hey, sit inside, you have help. This is almost kind of like a zone when you have a few people bracketing, and it feels like a zone almost. Big shot coming. And then there's that last back help. Able to get it. Isabella right there, making plays all over this field right now. Warhawks moving in down the open side.
Warhawks have the ability to end the game right now if they're able to stay patient, find their open cutters, open players like they've been doing all game, and able to work this disc into the end zone. It will be the end of the game.
Right on the doorstep. Again, looking to attack. Sill with the disc. Fantastic thrower. Dished off the line. Looking back to the middle. A throw and go opportunity. Back to the center. moving sideline to sideline. Not in yet. Still going up line, turning back inside for the goal. Warhawks doing an amazing job. Still all over the place, getting the disc, throwing and going, really making that handler-driven movement, but using her legs to drive that offense. A lot of times we think about handler-driven offense in the end zone using their throws, but still using her legs to drive up line and then to slam on the brakes right there to turn and get the disc right back in the center. An amazing job. Team defense and team offense by the Warhawks, but great job still using her legs to really drive that end zone.
Yeah, we saw some incredible work from Cleo Phillips all day, Lonnie O'Neill and Alyssa Earnhardt, showing that they can stay patient in that end zone offense. This is a big point for them, able to work the disc from side to side. Seattle doing what they can to prevent them, but unfortunately coming up short in this last moment of the game.
Cleo, I apologize. I mispronounced your name all stream. I apologize. You were playing fantastic. So right now, we're going to take just a look at, I've just been blown away by just the composure of both these teams in this heat. Tight games, to like think about different timeouts, to compose yourself, to throw different zones. Both programs really well established, and I want to give a big shout out to like the coaches from previous years and the volunteers and everyone from the high school coaches that really make a program like the Warhawks and Seattle possible. You know, you can hear them right now yelling, "Thank you, volunteers!" And you can this whole team right now has just parents and volunteers making sure that there's water, that there's shade tent, that there's food, that these players feel supported, and that's you know, the play on the field is so important, but it takes such a community to make sure that this happens, and their coaches do a great job of not instilling great ultimate fundamentals, but just character and life fundamentals, and it's really wonderful to see how this program has flourished. But along with the volunteer support, we really like to thank all of our sponsors for making this tour possible. We would not be able to be out here without your support. Thank you, 5 Ultimate, Cut Camp, Spike Ball, all the Seattle Got Your Back teams, Game Point Performance, Friction Glove, and Aria Disc. At this moment, we're going to go down to the field with Abby Abramovich with the Aria Player of the Game.
Thank you to all the viewers who watched that incredible game between Seattle Voyagers and this Warhawks team. I'm here with Jen Wang. She's the Aria Player of the Game. Jen, congratulations. Here's that disc for you. We were so impressed by your athletic ability on the field and also your spirit of the game. The fans at home want to know, what is the sport of Ultimate and its values meant to you so far?
Thank you so much. Sport of Ultimate has been a lot because I met a lot of amazing people through the game who have not only pushed me to be a better player, but a better person as well, I think.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jen, and thank you again for watching. We have one more game coming at you. Stay tuned for the boys U20 game coming up right now. Thanks. Great job out there.